My people, my name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most citizen. I am the diaspora, which is my people. All in all, it has been another beautiful day for a protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you, the front of my sign says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, and or the white man's fame. And the reverse of my sign says, white man, why have you re-enslaved the African American? My people, all in all, it was another beautiful day for a protest. I do not have anything particularly interesting to bring to your attention as it's related to my protest. And as you know, when I have finished protested and I've brought you an update as to what transpired when I protested, it is always my pleasure and my delight to bring you something of a social nature as it relates to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My people, Ralph Gonsalves is trying to win over the favor of the Kalinago people within the diaspora. And he is doing this by using the purchase of Baliso, the burial ground of our people, to do so. Let me bring to your attention something the Chief Chatier said. I have just a few quotes from Chatier that was handed down to me. And this was one of the quotes of Chatier. When he was in tribal council and they were discussing the British and the efforts of the British to take over St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Yorome or Garifuna, this is what he said. He said, the Cheyennes on Crab Island, meaning North America, they say they have a problem with the British. The Incas of South America, they say they have a problem with the Spanish. The Kalinagos in Martinique, they say they have a problem with the French. What I want them all to know is that we don't have a language problem. We have a white man's problem. Even Chatier, as a primitive chief, was able to recognize that the white men are the same, whether they are Spanish, French, English, German, whatever they are the same. They're cut from the same cloth. Their intention are the same. Their brutality are the same. Their wickedness are the same. And if you put any other white person in the situation that the French, the Spanish, the Germans had, they are going to act the same, because guess what? The Caucasians are the Caucasians. They are the children of Lucifer. So if the chief knew that back then, why are we still confusing Ralph Gonsalves and Ralph Gonsalves' effort with the effort of Columbus and Sir John Hawkins and the other oppressive whites who the Caucasians community celebrated, but were known for imposing evil upon the native people everywhere they went? So, my Kalinago and Garifuna brothers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and in the diaspora, don't take nothing that Ralph Gonsalves say, because he is a part of the system that banished you to Honduras. He's a part of the system that sees our people starve. On Baliso, the Caucasians are the Caucasians, whether they're of ancient time or today. They have never changed. They are still the same people with the still same wicked intent. They cannot change. A leopard can't change his spot. You have to come to the realization that no one ever seeks to ask why all of a sudden the so-called owners of Baliso decided that they were going to sell that little island. For decades, nothing like this ever happened. No one ever asked, where did Ralph Gonsalves get the $1 million to buy or to purchase, or how did he come into getting Baliso as a part of the stock of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? No one ever stuck to ask that. All we did is we took his words that he was able to get ownership of Baliso, and now Baliso is a part of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it is going to be preserved as a heritage site in the honor of our Garifuna brothers and sisters of the past. But we are not asking the real question. Ralph Gonsalves is using Baliso and the Garifuna people as a political pawn because general election is coming up soon. Ask yourself those questions. Why all of a sudden, 2 years ago, the owners of Baliso decided they're going to sell it? Why, ask yourself, why did Ralph Gonsalves, who was unable to source money for basic needs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, were able to get $1 million to purchase Baliso? He has an obligation to the citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and he has a parliamentary duty to tell the leader and any members of the opposition who decide to ask him where did he source the monies to acquire Baliso. He has a duty to the Parliament of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to make this thing public. He also has an obligation to the Garifunas in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and in the diaspora to tell us where he get the monies to purchase, or how he came about getting ownership of Baliso. My people, Garifunas around the world, you don't want to be associated with any dishonest means where Ralph Gonsalves have acquired monies to purchase Baliso. You don't want to be a part of Baliso if Baliso came or was purchased by the proceeds of drugs or other criminal activities. My people, it is not enough to rejoice over the purchase of Baliso, but it is enough to ensure that the purchase of Baliso was legitimate and in keeping with the spirit of Garifuna. Otherwise, you don't want to have anything to do with that purchase. Now, this fake or homosexual doctor say he given Ralph Gonsalves the highest Garifuna honor that there is to give. It is a good thing that that honor came from a non-profit that is run by this silly doctor and not from a legitimate council. Because let me tell you something, it is my intention that when I take up the reins of Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Garifuna in the diaspora are going to have different councils where they are either appointed or elected by a consensus among the Garifunas within the regions that they are living in. So the question I want to ask here, who would want to get that award after Ralph Gonsalves was given the highest award that this non-profit organization has to offer? A man who is an accused rapist. Listen to this. There were several Kalinago and Garifuna people who give statements of rape and sexual assault against Ralph Gonsalves. They went to Nicole Sylvester and they gave those statements. And when Ralph Gonsalves threatened to sue anyone who tried to bring him to the criminal courts, they became afraid because they know they didn't have any money to compensate Ralph Gonsalves in a lawsuit if he was able to manipulate the courts as he had been doing, and they lose. So here we see a man who was accused of raping Kalinagos and Garifunas is given the highest Garifuna honor. If I am supposed to be honored and I am given that honor, I'm rejecting it. Because me, a man with my character and ambition, could never be seen holding the same honor of an accused rapist. A man with a rape history that stretches over 50 years. My people, this is a serious thing. So when Ralph Gonsalves boasts about being honored by the Garifuna people in the diaspora, he is really being honored by a non-profit organization. A non-profit organization that does not have the mandate of the Garifuna people in the diaspora. That's an organization that was put into place to benefit the owner of the organization and to exploit the Garifuna heritage, culture, and people to enrich himself. That is why he's able to fly all over the world and do things, because he's getting monies from the United Nations and other organizations to keep the Garifuna heritage alive. While the real keepers of the heritage is left to fend for themselves and is not benefiting from the monies that his organization gets. I will never want to receive I will not want to be the recipient of an honor that Ralph Gonsalves was given. No honor. If the University of Venezuela offer me a doctorate, I am going to refuse it. Why? Ralph Gonsalves have a doctorate from them. I don't want honor from no organization or institution that have honored Ralph Gonsalves. And no self-respecting, dignified, decent man or woman is going to take any such honor, no matter how luxurious it appears. Money can buy friends. Money can buy a lot of things. But money can't buy dignity. Money can't buy respect. And monies can't buy integrity. My name is Chief Strongblood. St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo.